Hi everyone, welcome to day 6 of PySpark learning. Today we are going to talk about RDD or Resilient Distributed Datasets. So in RDD, unlike data frames, you'll also be able to manage unstructured data. So that is the key difference when you think about like data frames and RDD. RDD has some characteristics which we can cover: resilient, distributed, immutable, lazy evaluation, parallel processing. This we will go deep into it, because resilience is like if there is a node failure, how it will recover and run the data. So what is nodes are a system which will help you to run this data processing in parallel. That is what Spark clusters do, right? Spark has the power to run the things in parallel. So we'll be talking about how parallel processing work, what is nodes, all these things, right? We'll talking in a different session. So the goal of this video is to make you familiar how we have done with the data frames, right? How we will load the data into RDD, how we will do like retrieve the data from RDD, do very basic functionalities in RDD. This is what we are planning to cover. Given we are starting, I just provide some information in this slide so that like you would be able to relate to it. So I'll move on to this Databricks screen. Then we will be talking about how we will be doing the basic functions in RDD. Yeah, so we are into this day 6 RDD window. I have already my day 6 cluster running. I logged into Databricks. So on the day 5 video, I was trying to delete couple of files from the temp location, which I was not able to do. I was encountering an error where like it was not successful. So the reason behind that was like DBFS. I was not provided this DBFS path. Instead of like I was just providing the path like this. So I have tested that. Now I'll just practically show you how this is going right away. So I have like couple of files here. You can see employee JSON. So let me run this code. So you can see it is returned true. In the last video, you can see it was returning false. Given the interest of time, we didn't debug much. So here my employee JSON is gone, right? So this is what this dbutil command which help you to remove the files or folder. If you give this file store folder, this is going to remove the entire file store folder. This true represents recursion, everything under that would be going. Okay. Yeah, so let us move on to the main agenda of today's discussion, that is RDD or resilient distributed datasets. So yeah, I'll just quickly introduce a couple of terms. APIs. So anything which you use, I was using the word function in the previous videos because that is a very common word when used. But anything, right? If you see collect, show, text file, all these things which we are using are called APIs in PySpark, and we have mainly two types of APIs, like this transformation and action. So anything that help you to do the transformations on the data is one pattern to another are called transformations, and action are help you to view. So like if you see collect, show, and we have some, right? Those are like either a text file. All these things can be in the action. So I'll be providing a list in the video description that help you to distinguish which is transformation and which is action. Okay, so without wasting much time, let me move into this very basics of loading RDD. So like what we discussed in data frames, we can create RDD files also in two way. One, by having the very basic way, that is we have to use a code called parallelize. So that here what I am doing is like I'm creating an RDD. This is just a name, okay? I just named it as RDD for my easiness. So RDD using Spark context. So we have to use this API as uh, API as yeah. So So I have used this parallelize API, which would help me to create this RDD, which is like I have these tuples inside my list, which I have like 3 tuples inside one list, that's going to create this RDD. And you don't need to really use Spark context. Instead of that, you can use SC, that is representing the same Spark context in Databricks, which would help you to create this. So I just written this command. You can use any one of this command which would help you to do this activity. I have written this here so that like like there are 2 ways you can do it with the same function. So I'm running this, like I have this parallelize command, I have this 3 information, I ran it. So while speaking also I have started writing some comments which help you to register this statement. So what is collect? Collect returns all the elements from RDD as a list. So it also mentioned like use cautiously for data. So collect returns everything from your data set. So here, okay, yeah, here I have only like 3 values. So so I used print. Instead of that, you can use display. So display will give you result. Like how does it give me result? Remember this fancy way, right? Like it was showing you like table. So here each tuples are rows and it's like a table it's giving, but it may not. So here I have used because the data is like that, but in some cases it may not be this structured. Okay, so moving on to how you would load a text file, right, or any file into this RDD. So we use this Spark context and we say like text file and we provided the file name and you ran. So this goes and store into RDD files. So you can see when I use collect, I have so many records, right, which is not relevant. All I need to know is like, did we have the data loaded? And we use this for very large data sets. So like printing everything is not necessary for us. We need to process the data. So the best way to do that is like you can use the take command. I'm taking like, so here it's a very small data set for RDD. So let us do this take command for our file. So I'm saying like RDD take 10, cutting this command so that like, yeah, take 10, it gets me like, yeah, 10 records, 9 plus 1. So if you see right here, we don't have a concept of headers. So this is another row for me. Okay, so I'm not considering this as a header. So otherwise like you'll be getting 1 to 10. You got only 1 to 9 plus header, because header is just another value or row for me. And what is first? First will give you the first row. So if you use RDD file, you will see that difference. Yeah, it is giving employee ID, name, department, joining date, right? So this will help you to yeah, take only the first value. Just wanted to see what is in my first value. If there is a header or anything comes up, you can use the first. So take, you can give any number you want, which you will be getting like that many records from top. Yeah, we have filter. Filter is like our where condition, where you can filter your data based on a condition. You remember this RDD dataset which we created initially, right? Here I have like people with Alice with age, this thing, and you see this data here 25, 30, 35. So I have this, I wanted to do like I need only 2 results, like Alice and Bob, where like their age is less than 30, like 30 or less. So I am going to filter this data saying that less than or equal to 30, right? So if you do this activity, so what I'm doing, I wrote this filter. So I'll tell you what this lambda and all these things, I'll come back to this. So here I'm doing this and I'm assigning in this to a new RDD. Like I have this value in RDD, but I'm naming it as like RDD3, and I'm running this statement. So we don't need to run this. So test command, run it. So here I am filtering this and I got like these two data. So hereafter in RDD3 you will only have these two values, right? So it's a filter data set. So what now, let us go a little deep into what is lambda, what is filter. So filter is an API, right? Now hereafter, like, we should not use the word function, we should start using API, right? So filter is an API that help you to filter your RDD data sets based on a condition, right? And when you write a condition, you want that condition to be applied on all the tuple, right? In your case, like, you have this 3 tuple, or like you wanted to apply this on all the elements. And here I have tuple, and you can read this as like the first element as a of 0 and second element as like a of 1, right? So it's like a position. So that is how what I did. This lambda is an anonymous function. I guess I did this, yeah. The lambda is a small anonymous function defined using lambda keyword, which can take any number of arguments but has only one expression. So this is, if you already know Python, you know lambda. So if not, like, understood that it's an anonymous function, it's like you are calling a function, but this function is going to run it with for all these, like, right, when you filter you wanted to run this for all these things. So what I am doing here, get me my result, okay, each row, and what result I need to get anything is like a of 1 should be less than 0, and you apply the filter on top of that. This is the condition. Since you need to run it, so you are using lambda. Okay, so then from that you assign this to RDD3, you are getting this filtered value. I know this may be little tricky to understand, because why this is function came into picture, why I am giving a of 1, a of 0 and all. So but when you keep practicing, you'll understand the purpose and you will be able to get understand. So just to not to get complicated, I'll just try to explain only this part, right? So you wanted to get think in our same structured manner. Like you have these two column, but you don't have a column name, right? If you are writing in symbol, what you would do, okay, column 2 age is less than 30, right? If it is an age column, you would say age is less than 30. So you don't have age, you wanted to have the position, so you are using, instead of age, you are using which column is less than this, and this has to be taken and pass it back, right? So filter is helping you to filter the data. So whichever the condition is true, that records will be retrieved by RDD. Okay. And if your goal is just to display this, right, in case you don't really need this value to be stored, you can still use this take command. Yeah, so this will print the first 10 values in the result. Sorry, but when I deleted, I got the indentation error. You already know that. So I'm only getting these values. So if I put the display wrapper around it, it will be showing like a table. So it's not necessary you need to store it, but if you wanted to make use of it, you have to store it. Okay, hope that's clear. So now let me do one condition, that is map. So filter was helping you to filter your result in such a way that you wanted to reduce the number of records. What if, like, you wanted to do some calculation, or like you wanted to extract some values, right? Filter is a row by row, right? Like it's like your work condition, correct? But you wanted to extract some data, or you wanted to do some calculation. So let's see what we are doing here. So map. So what is map? Map applies a function on each element on the RDD and returns a new transformed RDD. So here I have a data set called RDD. I'm creating a new RDD that is, yeah, same parallelize command, and I have this three tuples. Apple, I'm saying like I have 10 apple, 20 banana, and 30 cherry. So I wanted to get only the fruit names, right? So when I say I wanted to get the only the fruit name, I know that I need the first value from each tuple, correct? So what like our indexing starts from 0. So I need to get the first value, right? This is my first value. Do you agree? So I'm using the map function, which will help you to apply a function and get you the values you need. So I'm like using the map, and if you are thinking like, can we use what was that function name? Yeah, filter here. No, because filter work on reducing the number of records. Just keep that in mind, right? It's a filter. So here it is more of like you wanted to extract or manipulate the data. So you ran it. Yeah, you got only apple, cherry, and banana. So let us do an interesting part, right? So I wanted to increase all these fruits number by 10. So can we do this? I'm also trying it, like let us see what happens. See, I got it. The fruit numbers have increased, but what I need the column, both the columns I need, right? It was only displaying column. So what do we do? Yeah, so this only return this x value back, right? So what I need, I wanted to show my x of 0 also here, right? If I do it like this x gets 2 inputs, so what we have to do, we need to return this as a tuple. Okay, I lost my bracket. Yeah. So it has to return as a tuple, so that like you can start getting the value the way you want. Like you are getting all your columns, like apple you are getting the calculator, so that like you can add how many ever columns you want, right? So I'll say x of 1. I'll get my odd value also. Yeah. So now your fruits names column have more columns. So think about, you wanted to add an additional column, right? A calculated column. We were using with columns in the data frames. So here you have to use this map and lambda function to do that. So lambda is returning this x back. So hope this is clear. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me on lambda. I'll try to share some information. One, as I committed, I'll be giving you different types of functions of action, like different types of APIs, action API and transformation API. I'll be providing the list in the description. And also, let me see if I can provide you any more information in reference to make you understand on the lambda functions and everything. So if you need a detailed explanation or video on all these things, feel free to comment it. We can create it. And as I was keep mentioning in this previous video, practice is key, and I want all of you to keep practicing and see the errors. So if we here, if you don't put a bracket, you are seeing an error, because yeah, so name error, name x is not defined. So this is not a direct error like others, but you got to understand, okay, anything which is assigning to x should be single. It can be like one value or multiple value, but it should be either whatever the way, it should be single result. Okay, yeah, hope this is clear. This is all today. Like we'll be deep diving into more actual scenarios on making use of this function and how RDD work. We'll also have this couple of theory class coming on our way on, like how these clusters are working, what is nodes we are hearing, right? Spark cluster, node, like RDD like gave us couple of new terms on lazy evaluation, like distribution, failover, and all these things, right? We'll talk all about that in upcoming classes. Hope you enjoy this class, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.